starting with item 20.
Yeah. I'd like to call the Finance, Ways and Means Subcommittee to order on this March 26, 2025. Madam Ms. Clerk, will you please open the board for a roll call? Members, please make sure you're signed in. Will the clerk please take the roll?
Mr. Chairman, you have 7 members present. You have a quorum.
Thank you. Do the members have any personal orders? Chairman Crawford, you are recognized as you approach.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman. I have a guest with me today. Her name is Susan Wetzel. She's from Jefferson City. She's in the 10th grade, and this is her very first time at the Capitol, and she's shadowing me today. Do you mind to stand up, Sarah? Make her welcome.
Chairman Hicks, Timothy Hicks.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman. I also have a guest here today, Twyla Tyler. She's in the 6th grade, lives in Oak Ridge, and it's her first time shadowing today. So Twyla, will you please stand up? Thank you. Thank you, Mr. Chairman.
Thank you. Thank you, Chairman Hicks. Also have Representative Capley.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman. Members, I also have a shadow here. Bryant, where are you, buddy? Stand up. He's 14. He's from Murfreesboro, Tennessee, and he wants to play football when he grows up. Looks like a cornerback to me, Mr. Chairman. So y'all give him a hand.
Thank you. Not a very good place to find an agent, young man, but welcome to House Finance Subcommittee. Seeing no other personal orders, we do have 36 bills on the calendar today. We have chairmen that are in and out of committee, so we're going to be taking a few out of order, but we will start without objection on item number 20 on your calendar. Item number 20 is by Chairman Faison. You have a motion and second. I'm trying to find the House bill number on my notes here. Chairman Faison, you are recognized on House Bill 754.
Thank you, Mr. Chair, Committee. There's an amendment that writes the bill, and I believe it's traveling with the bill.
Yes, Chairman, it's traveling.
Cool. Members, this is just a simple bill that says if you're an insurance company and you provide insurance for transitioning, that you also have to provide and make available to your customer for detransitioning.
Thank you, Chairman Faison. Do the members have any questions? Seeing no questions, so of course, Chairman Faison, you're well aware this bill does have a cost. And since it does have a cost, we'll have to put it behind the budget and consider it at a later date. House Bill, without objection, House Bill 754 goes behind the budget.
Thank you.
You don't see him. All right, members, we're going to start back to the top of the calendar. Item number 1 on your calendar, House Bill 1039 by Chairman Farmer. We have a motion and second on the bill. Chairman Farmer, you're recognized.
Thank you, Mr. Chair, Committee. I believe I have an amendment 5877 on that.
Yes, sir. That is traveling with it from committee.
Awesome. Members, bill does 3 things. One is makes it clear that Glock switches are legal. It's already legal under current law. It's going to make the Class E felony. Should cut down on some shootings that makes those things act like automatic firearms there. So that definitely don't need to be happening. It's going to address felons in possession of ammunition. If you're a felon, you don't need to have a gun. Certainly don't need to have ammunition as well. And it's going to make any sort of shooting out of a motor vehicle. It's going to make it a 100% C felony sentence. So we're just going to crack down on the drive-by shootings and just a few things there. So what does?
Thank you, Chairman, for that description. Chairman Gillespie, you're recognized.
Thank you, Mr. Chair. Sponsor, thank you so much. And Speaker Sexton, thank you. I know you're watching. This will really help my community significantly. We've been asking for this for a while, and it will save lives, and it will keep families apart or together. And so thank you. And I fully support this and will help in any way I can to get it funded.
Thanks, sir.
Thank you, Chairman Gillespie. Any further questions? Well, this bill, as you're well aware, Chairman Farmer, does have a fiscal impact, so we'll have to place it behind the budget and consider it at a later date. Without objection, House Bill 1039 goes behind the budget. Chairman, I'm sorry, Chairman, that was 1093 goes behind the budget. Now, Chairman Farmer, you also have item number 8. So without objection, we're going to go out of order to item number 8, House Bill 1129, also by Chairman Farmer. Do I have a motion and second? And Chairman Farmer, brief description of your bill.
Yeah, thank you, Mr. Chair. And I hope the committee has, I've got an amended fiscal. I've been working with TDOC, TDEC. What this has to do with members is rock quarries. They're called borrow pits. So basically, I just want to be sure that our current quarries that are in operation are going to be able to continue to provide the material to rebuild our towns from the devastation of Hurricane Helene. So that's what it does.
Thank you, Chairman Farmer. Is there any discussion on the bill? Seeing none, are we ready to vote? Madam Clerk, please open the board for a vote. Those in favor of House Bill 1129 moving on to full finance, please vote aye. Those opposed, vote no. Has everyone voted? Would anyone like to change their vote? Hearing none, seeing none, Madam Clerk, please take the vote.
Mr. Chairman, you have 8 ayes, 0 noes.
Thank you. The ayes do have it. House Bill 1129 moves to full finance.
Thank you, Mr. Chair. Committee. Thank you.
We are back to the top of the calendar. Item number 2 on the calendar, House Bill 1089 by Chairman Hicks. Representative Hicks, you are recognized.
Thank you,
Can I have a
Mr.
motion and second on the bill? We have a motion second on the bill. You are recognized.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman. I also have an amendment 6206.
That is correct. Do I have a motion and second on the amendment? We have a motion and second on the amendment. You are recognized on the amendment.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman. This bill aims to ensure that individuals convicted of certain criminal offenses undergo a mental health evaluation as part of the court sentencing process to better understand the mental health needs of offenders and ensure that appropriate intervention and treatment are provided. Thank you, Mr. Chairman.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman Hicks. Any questions for Chairman Hicks on the amendment? Seeing none, all those in favor of drafting code 6206 on House Bill 1089, say aye. All those opposed, vote no. Amendment drafting code 6206 goes on the bill. We are back on the bill. House Bill 1089 is amended. No further discussion. Any questions for the sponsor? Since this bill does have a cost, even with the new amendment, we'll have to place it behind the budget and consider it at a later date. So without objection, House Bill 1089 goes behind the budget. Thank you, Chairman. Item number 3 on the calendar will be, at the request of the sponsor, be rolled 6 spaces. So House Bill 1376, 6 spaces. Item number 4 on your calendar, House Joint Resolution 28 by Chairman Bolso. We have a motion and second on the amendment. Chairman Bolso, you're recognized for a brief description.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman. Good morning, members of the committee. This is a proposed constitutional amendment that seeks to enshrine in Article 1 of our state constitution the right to medical freedom that has already been recognized by our state Supreme Court and by the U.S. Supreme Court. With that, Mr. Chairman, I'm ready for questions.
Thank you, Chairman Bolso. Any questions for Chairman Bolso? Seeing none, House Joint, we do have a special calendar as we've done before for constitutional amendments. So without objection, House Joint Resolution 28 moves to the constitutional amendment calendar. Thank you, Chairman Bolso.
Thank you, Chairman. Thank you, committee.
At the request of the sponsor, item number 5, House Bill 29 has been requested to be taken off notice. So House Bill 29 off notice. Item number 6 on the calendar, there's Chairman Darby. House Bill 437 by Chairman Darby. We have a motion and second on the bill. Chairman Darby, you are recognized.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman. This right here authorizes a county that has adopted the County Sheriff's Civil Service Act of 1974 to rescind such adoption by a 2/3 vote of the county legislative body.
Thank you, Chairman Darby. Any questions for Chairman Darby? Seeing none, Are we ready to vote? Madam Clerk, will you please open the board? Those in favor of House Bill 437, please vote aye. Those opposed, please vote no. Has everyone voted? Would anyone like to change their vote? Seeing none, hearing none. Madam Clerk, will you please take the vote?
Mr. Chairman, you have 8 ayes, 0 nos.
Thank you. Chairman Darby, House Bill 437 moves to full finance.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman and committee.
I don't see. Okay. Item number seven by House Bill 592 by Chairman Doggett. I do not see him. He's chaired another committee. So without objection, House Bill 592 to the Hill. Item number 8 on the counter has already been dealt with by Chairman Farmer previously. So we are on to item number 9. Chairman Hale is at the back. House Bill 8 by Chairman Hale. We have a motion and second on the bill. Chairman Hale, you are recognized.
Thank you, Chairman and committee. House Bill 8 simply is looking to extend. Currently, we do a $800 training bonus for post-certified officers. Campus officers have been left out of that, so this would just bring them into that $800 training bonus.
Thank you. Thank you, Chairman Hale, for that description. Any questions or discussion for Chairman Hale? Seeing none, as you're aware, Chairman Hale, this bill does have a small fiscal note. So without objection, House Bill 8 will go behind the budget. Thank you, Chairman Hale.
Thank you, committee and chair.
Members, we're going to go back to item number 3 on your calendar, which was previously rolled 6 spaces. Item number 3. Thanks. Item number 3 on your calendar, House Bill 1376 by Leader Lambert. I have a motion and second on the bill. We also do have, I'm going to recognize.
Okay.
Thank you. Leader, I think you have an amendment on this bill, a small 37-page amendment.
Yes, sir, Mr. Chairman.
Yes.
It's Amendment Code 5352. And thank y'all for taking me up out of order. Criminal Justice Subcommittee is meeting next door. We've had a robust day.
Thank you. Thank you. Appreciate that. Do I have a motion and a second on Amendment Drafting Code 5352? You have a motion and second. Any questions for the member on it? Seeing none, we're going to attach Drafting Code 5352 amendment onto the bill. All those in favor say aye. All those opposed, the ayes have it. Drafting Code 5352 is on the bill, and I'm going to recognize Chairman Hicks for the purposes of an amendment.
All right, thank you, Chairman. We are next on amendment Drafting Code 006405 by Chairman Williams. We have motion second. Motion. We have a motion second. Chairman Williams, you're recognized.
All right, let's do this again. That was just a test run there. Let's try this, see if I can do this better. We're still on House Bill 1376, and now we're going to be on Amendment Number 2. Amendment Number 2 is Drafting Code 006405 by Chairman Williams. We have a motion and a second. It's properly before, sir. You're recognized.
Thank you. Thank you. Thank you, Leader Lambert, and your staff. I have spent the entire weekend talking about THCA taxation and the levels of THCA in 9 different products that are currently available in the state, and how we should reinstitute both excise and wholesale taxes and the formularies associated with one of these. The reason for this amendment is to mainly discuss those taxation policies, while also reflecting back on how the volume of THCA might be impacted in the delivery mechanism for THCA. As you are well aware, and the members are well aware, this was handled in the Department of Ag prior to this time, and there's been a lot of changes in this market, if you will. And so this amendment would try to speak to some of that in regards to the wholesale tax and the levels of THCA in all those products. So the purpose of presenting in this amendment today is to state to the public and to that Leader Lambert and I are working to find a taxation policy and THCA regimen, if you will, for these products to make sure that we're doing it the right way as we come out of the gate, which is taking much more time than he or I could possibly imagine. So that's what this amendment does. Because it is not fully perfected, I'm going to be supporting Leader Lambert's bill today, and I move to withdraw this amendment.
All right, thank you, Chairman Williams. Members, you've heard the request. Any objection to the withdrawal of Amendment 6405? Hearing none, without objection, amendment is withdrawn.
Thank Leader Lambert, you are recognized.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman. And Mr. Chairman, thank you for the conversation on this. It is an intricate issue. These products, when we passed a hemp bill several years ago, and the federal government did as well, we, at least I can speak for myself and for everybody I've spoken to on this bill, never intended to legalize a product that is extraordinarily intoxicating. We wished to keep illegal marijuana in this state, but we limited marijuana to just THC Delta 9. And specifically THC Delta 9 above 0.3%, and thought we had, pretty much ensured that you would not have strongly intoxicating THC products out there. Well, scientifically speaking, that's just not accurate. I mean, there are THC products that are being sold throughout the market, as you can see from the fiscal note. They've been sold in drinks and gummies, and they've been sold in tinctures and everything else, just about every kind of method you could imagine. And so getting the tax right on this is a struggle, because what we did 2 years ago with the Department of Ag is we put a 6% retail tax on it, thinking that this is a relatively niche product. There's a few folks selling it. Well, there's 555 licensed hemp retailers in Nashville right now that are either already licensed or pending a license right now. That's just in one city. So this is not a niche market anymore, which is why this bill is amended, keeps the 6% retail tax. And the chairman and I have spoken about this. The goal would be, if we could figure it out this year, but I don't know if we can, but the goal would be to eventually go to a wholesale tax where it's all being collected there, because you'll have brand registration. People will know what they're getting. That's part of this bill, is to make sure that people know the product they're getting. The analogy I've given in other committees is, if you buy a Sprite, you should get a Sprite. If you buy a beer, you should get a beer. If you're buying a bottle of tequila, you should get a bottle of tequila. You shouldn't buy a Sprite and get tequila. And by the way, each of those products are taxed differently. So it is a bit of a struggle. And Mr. Chairman, I know this time of year we all work weekends, but I didn't want you having to work on one of my bills, but I do appreciate it. You put in a ton of time, but the structure we have before you does bring in a positive fiscal note. It will make sure that ABC can do the job that we're asking them to do, which they do very well. And specifically, this would limit it to liquor stores and hemp shops, because right now it's any convenience store, grocery store, anything else, and that's almost unmanageable with these products at this juncture. Maybe down the road somewhere, but for right now, I think we need to kind of narrow the scope of this, let ABC get this under control, make sure it's safe for folks and they know what they're getting, and then keep a tax structure that funds that process.
Thank you, Leader Lambert. Any discussion for Leader Lambert on the bill? Representative Reeves, you're recognized.
Thank you, Mr. Chair. Just a couple things, and we've kind of talked about some of these things, but I just kind of want to put it out there. So this does not allow convenience stores or grocery stores to sell whatever these products are. And I just wanted to ask about that, because I know that both of those have extensive experience in retail of age-controlled products. Can you maybe walk us through that?
Leader Lambert.
So we permit grocery stores to sell wine and beer, which are low alcohol content products. And we allow convenience stores to sell, obviously, beer. And in some convenience stores, if you're of a size and all that, you can sell wine, because you're basically a grocery store at that juncture. So we do allow them to sell low intensity products where there is less risk. The problem in dealing with these products is, I had one of our staff member go to a location that is within walking distance of this building and bought a 50 milligram, which would be limited in this bill to 25. And there's argument to go even lower than that, but a 50 milligram THC drink. If you drink that entire can, you're out. You're out for hours, more than likely. I mean, I've never used these products, never will, but from talking to folks and talking to folks within the industry, I mean, there are 100 milligram products out there. It's just too powerful a product to have at a gas station next to the kids' Twinkies or something. I mean, it's just too much. And so maybe down the road somewhere, when we get a better handle on how to separate between kind of the beer wine level of these products and the the pure grain alcohol level. But right now it's all mixed and it's in a sliding scale. We need to get control of it. And then potentially, now there's nothing that stops a gas station or a grocery store from having a separate business that they license as a hemp shop. Before we allowed liquor stores to sell beer, I had a friend of mine that did that. He had two separate entrances in the same building and basically sold beer and Coca-Colas and everything over here and sold liquor and everything over here. When we passed the law allowing for it, all he did was take the wall out. So it's just two different businesses. So nothing in here stops people from doing that. It's just not going to be selling weed next to the milk and eggs.
Representative Reeves.
Let me take a different tack because I've got a couple constituent businesses that have invested their time and money into, whatever these shops sell. And I do worry about the investment that they've made. And one of the things that I've heard expressed a concern about anyway is the fiscal capacity, or however that's defined, and $750,000 needs to be available. Can you talk to that?
Absolutely. And thank you for asking that question. So we really do want the best of the best businesses that do have financial capacity. We do the same thing for liquor stores and other types of businesses that are selling these type of intoxicating products. It's not like you have to have $750,000 in cash. It's a certified business or personal financial statement and checking or savings account statement from a money market or brokerage account, provided funds are readily convertible to cash. So you could have cash if you wanted to, or loan as a proof of financial capacity, or proof of loan approval from a bank or other insured, or proof of loan approval from a private lender. And it basically gives multiple different options there. I mean, this could literally be a HELOC on your home or business or something where you've got just some additional equity there, where if for some reason you got into trouble, there's no incentive to sell something illegal to try to catch up or something, where at least you're a solvent business is all we're aiming for there.
Got it. And sorry.
Representative Reeves.
And would a bond go towards that?
Yes.
Yes.
Leader.
Thank you,
Representative
Mr.
Reeves.
Chair. Thank you, Leader.
Chairman Gillespie.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman. Leader, thank you. We've talked about this bill a lot. And as I've expressed to you, that I have had some concerns. A lot have been, amended. But I just want to make sure that, separate from the conversations we've had privately, that the intent here is to get a handle on the regulatory process of these products to make sure we know exactly what's in them and exactly who's buying them. And once that's taken care of, I mean, that could be a 6-month project or that could be a 6-year project. But once we have a handle of it, the intent is to continue to sell these under the supervision that we're setting up in this bill. Is that correct?
Leader Lambert.
Yes, they can. I mean, so in commerce, and that, by the way, the minute you have before you is kind of a combination of criminal justice sub, judiciary full, commerce full, and GovOps. It's been a journey. And so we kind of combined all that. And what commerce did is we initially had banned THCA products. That may be what you're alluding to. Those will still be allowed to be sold. And so I will admit, personally, I'm not wild about that, but I follow the committee process like everybody else does, and that was the will of the committee. So this bill, there's a separate bill that would ban THCA. Folks can fight about that particular issue on that bill, but for these products, they're still able to sell it. We are just trying to get a handle on what it is, which is why these will go through warehousing instead of direct drop ship to retailers. You'll have to go through a warehouse here like we do with liquor or other products. And we'll have brand registration, which is also really important. That way you don't have some dangerous drug coming in from outside of the country that's just direct to consumer.
Thank you.
Thank you, Chairman. Chairman Crawford for discussion.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman. Thank you, Mr. Sponsor. I just have a question. I thought I understood the bill, but Chairman Gillespie just brought up a fact of controlling what they buy and who buys it. This doesn't create a registry in any way, does it?
Leader Lambert.
No, it's a brand registration. So just like if somebody's selling Sprite in this state, we know what Sprite is. You've registered Sprite as a brand. Here, the ingredients that are in Sprite are recorded somewhere. Who's buying what is absolutely not out there. It's just the brands themselves. So they're called all kind of things. But as you can imagine, the culture that this comes out of, the kind of the hemp culture, some of these are pretty inventive names, but like Dragon bubble gum or something like that, well, you would register that, and it, at least people would know what that is, and there through the wholesale process, that brand would mean something. So if somebody buys Nerds at the grocery store, they know what Nerds are. That's what I'm talking about with registration.
Okay, I just wanted to be sure we wasn't creating a list that
No.
when these people went to buy it, they had to sign something or whatever. Thank you, Mr. Chairman.
Thank you, Chairman Crawford. Any further discussion? We do have, Leader Lambert, we do have some outside testimony, some folks here to speak today. Members of the public, we do limit those discussion or the comments to 3 minutes. I do have signed up to testify Alex Little with the Hemp Law Group. Okay. So I do not see him, so we are not going to go out of session. We are back on the bill as amended. Do the members have any further questions before we vote? Are we ready to vote? Madam Clerk, please open the board for a vote. Those in favor of House Bill 1376, moving on to full finance, please vote aye. Those opposed, please vote no. Has everyone voted? Would anyone like to change their vote? Hearing none and seeing none, Madam Clerk, please call the vote.
Mr. Chairman, you have 11 ayes, 0 noes.
Thank you. The ayes do have it. House Bill 1376 moves to full finance.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman, members of the committee, and Mr. Chairman, I look forward to continuing to work with you to make sure we got this perfect. It's been a long journey, so thank y'all.
Yes, it is. Thank you, Leader. Okay. Item number 10 on the calendar, House Bill 968 by Chairman Hawk. I saw Chairman, there he is. Chairman Hawk, you recognized on House Bill 968. Do I have a motion? Do I have a motion and second on the bill? We also have a timely filed amendment, drafting code 5630. Is that what you have, Chairman?
That is what I have, Chairman.
Thank you. Do I have a motion and second on the amendment? Yes, we have a motion and second on the amendment for the purposes of discussion. We're going to put that amendment on. All those in favor of drafting code 5630, all those in favor say aye. All those opposed? Lively bunch, Chairman. Drafting code 5630 goes on the bill. Chairman Hawk, you are now recognized on House Bill 968 as amended.
Thank you, Chairman, and enthusiastic committee. I appreciate that very much. House Bill 968 is a bill that is working with vape products. Many of you have heard about this before, and hopefully this is not a first time, but second, third, fourth time that you've heard this. According to federal law, it is illegal to sell a vape product that is not either in the process of getting FDA approval or has been approved by the FDA. Any vape product that is being sold in Tennessee now that does not meet these requirements is illegal. As in a lot of cases where the federal law lacks enforcement, states will step in. This bill is like our tobacco laws in that it sets up a registry. The manufacturers of legal vape products will file proof with the Department of Revenue that they are approved or in the process of being approved by the FDA. Once the registry is populated, consumers, retailers, law enforcement, all of us will know which products can be sold in Tennessee. I want to say this quickly, but firmly, this bill does not outlaw any vape product that isn't already illegal in the state of Tennessee. I've been approached by our law enforcement, by our juvenile courts across the state of Tennessee. We've got a huge issue of these products being in our high schools, or even our middle schools, and it's just a detriment to our kids at this time. There's also a universal carding provision in this bill, which requires retailers to card people just like our alcohol law. There is a bill, there's a fee on the vape products that will be used to enforce the law. It is not a general tax on all citizens, but a user fee on these products so that the adults who use them are the ones paying for them to be regulated. A small price to pay for what we're hoping will stop the influx of Chinese vape products into our communities and poisoning our children. As was discussed by the amendment you just put on, Chairman and members, that's requested by FNA just to direct the funds to the general fund, hopefully going toward, my hope would be toward a cessation, smoking cessation programs and others to the Department of Health, or Department of Mental Health and Substance Abuse. In a nutshell, that's what the bill does.
Thank you, Chairman Hawk. Any discussion or questions for Chairman Hawk on the bill? Seeing none. Chairman Hawk, I just want to tell, once again, last week you were before this committee. There were some questions that I had as it relates to the risk profile of these substances, similar to the ones that were before. Was able to work on this bill over the weekend too, to look at the taxation to make sure it falls within the continuum of risk care as it relates to taxation from Zen to cigarettes. And this bill does as drafted. Appreciate your hard work on that, and you giving me the patience, the time to be able to look through it, make sure we're getting it right the first time. So I do appreciate that. Any further questions? Seeing none, we're ready to vote. Oh, I'm sorry, we do have folks here to testify. I always forget that part. So we do have three folks here to testify, and your testimony will be limited to 3 minutes. I have Emily Karen Leroy, Terry Livesay, don't want to butcher your name, my apologies, and David Nelson. So if each three of you would come up here, we're going to hear from each of your testimony, and then if there are any questions from the members, we'll be happy to take for you to take their questions then. So without objection, we're going to go out of session to hear testimony from them. Out of session. And first on my list, Emily Carolyn Leroy.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman.
Yes, you are recognized.
And members of the committee. The Tennessee Fuel and Convenience Store Association was founded in 1929 and represents wholesale fuel distributors and convenience store owner-operators. As the executive director of the Convenience Store Association, I'm proud to represent a network of responsible, law-abiding businesses that are committed to operating in full compliance with all state and federal laws. Our members are integral to the communities they serve, providing essential products and services while creating jobs and economic opportunities. Methods for regulating vape products have been discussed for several years now. And the good news is that I believe there is a strong across-the-board agreement that vape products need to be regulated to eliminate dangerous and problematic product from being imported to Tennessee for sale and to keep these products out of the hands of minors. I'm pleased to tell you that all the interested parties appear to support TFC's proposal for universal carding of vape products. Convenience stores, did I already get 3 minutes? Okay. That's okay. Convenience stores strongly support universal carding as we believe it not only helps stop the sale, but acts as a deterrent. What this bill does, in addition to universal carding, is it imposes a wholesale tax similar to tobacco nicotine tax, as our sponsor, Representative Hawk, has already stated, and the Department of Revenue will regulate that. There are over 400 products on the registry list. That's a pretty big product count for a store. We think that's good. And of course, any manufacturer can take their product to the vape registry, the FDA, and get that product approved. So if there are additional products that a store owner would like to sell, they absolutely have that option. And again, as Representative Hawk says, it doesn't make any products illegal that are not already illegal. TFCA always supports a level playing field for market participants. We want everyone to participate in universal carding and sell safe, approved product. We believe this comprehensive bill sets up that level playing field. Our goal is to reduce minor access to vape products and to restrict unsafe and illegal products from China. And we definitely appreciate Representative Hawk. A lot of work has gone into this bill. We've worked on it for 5 years now. It's gone through a lot of different versions, but we think this is going to work. And thank you so much for your time.
Thank you. Thank you for your testimony. Excellent control of time as well. Next on my list, I have Terry Livesay. Did I say that correctly? You were recognized.
You were close.
Okay.
It's Livesey.
Well, say it perfectly for me. I won't butcher it. Thank you.
Can we let Dave go first? Is that okay?
That is quite all right. You just use 3 seconds of your time. I'm just kidding. I'm just kidding. You can go first, Mr. Nelson. Please state your name for the record before you begin. Thank you.
David Nelson. Mr. Chairman and members of the committee, my name is David Nelson, and I am the owner of Rocky Top Vapor. I live in Johnson City, Tennessee, and own 5 stores located in Johnson City, Kingsport, Elizabethton, Greenville, and Bristol, Tennessee. I come before you to oppose HB 968, a bill that claims to protect public health, but instead serves as a legislative weapon for big tobacco to crush competition and reverse progress in reducing smoking rates. The vaping industry has driven smoking rates down to record lows, saving lives by offering a harm reduction alternative, 95% less harmful than combustible cigarettes, as numerous studies confirm. Yet this bill would essentially ban all vaping products except for the 34 FDA authorized ones, all tied to big tobacco, representing just 13.7% of the market. These tobacco and menthol only products fail to meet the needs of the 15 million current adult vapors, 83% of whom prefer sweet or fruity flavors to stay off cigarettes. Big tobacco is panicking as smoking declines and their inferior products aren't selling. This bill ensures their monopoly by eliminating competition under the guise of regulation. Studies from JAMA and Yale show vaping bans lead to increased smoking rates, pushing people back to a habit that kills 480,000 Americans yearly. The FDA itself admits that removing non-authorized products risks public health harm, yet this bill ignores that reality. The Chinese disposable vapes targeted by this bill are commonly sold in places like gas stations and flea markets, often under less scrutiny. At our shop, we take a different approach, responsibly selling disposable vapes to adults mainly to help them transition away from cigarettes. We don't stock gimmicky products like highlighter vapes, which I've only noticed popping up online. Those are illegally sold through platforms like TikTok shops, and it's frustrating to see little enforcement despite clear regulations. We do support sensible regulation, universal carding, licensing, and enforcement to prevent youth access, but not a registry and excessive tax that hands the market to big tobacco while pretending to solve problems. This isn't regulation, it's a hostile takeover. Protect public health and consumer choice. Please don't put me and hundreds of other small businesses across the state out of business. Reject HB 968. Thank you.
Thank you, Mr. Nelson. And now you are recognized. Just please state your name for the record, and you have 3 minutes.
Good morning. My name is Teresa Livesey. I have owned Knoxville Vapor for 12 years. When I started preparing for this, I initially wanted to show the tax disparity between open systems and closed systems. However, when I started to do a deep dive into the fiscal note, I realized that there are an awful lot of inaccuracies and false assumptions in there. So I thought it might be better to use my little bit of time to go over some of those. First of all, the tax calculations in the fiscal note are based on a population group of 18 and older. The legal vaping age is 21. So that alone right there skews all of the tax numbers that are in the rest of the document. Second, it states that pods are 3 to 60 milliliters. The FDA authorized products are only 1.9, and I've never seen a 60 milliliter pod. It actually does not exist on the market, to my knowledge. This just confirms that the drafters of this bill do not actually understand our industry at all. It states the average person consumes 15 milliliters of liquid per week. However, in reality, the average person using authorized pods go through about 2 pods per week. That's per the Views website. So that's only 4 mils, not 15. Again, skewing the tax calculations throughout the document. It's assumed in the document that 45% of vapors use closed systems. So that means 55% use open systems. Per the Truth Initiative anti-vaping campaign, they say that only 13% of vapors use the FDA-authorized products. The vast majority of vapors will not transition to the authorized products, thereby reducing the population of vapors down to 13%. 15% if you're lucky when this is over. Between this and correcting the milliliters from 15 to 4 per week, the estimated $9 million tax revenue from closed systems is way overstated and would actually be closer to $844,000. The section regarding open systems is irrelevant as these products will be removed from the market. I want to be very clear here. I know there's a lot of questions around it. This bill will absolutely shut down our business because it removes everything from the market, with the exception of 40 out of the 400 on the list that we keep hearing about, but have yet to see. So if you actually think that this is not going to shut down our business, you're being fooled by big tobacco. The assumptions state that there will not be a significant impact to commerce or jobs in the state. My two little shops paid $2.1 million in wages over the past 5 years. And finally, the fiscal note does not address the negative impacts to state, small business, or public health. Because there is no license required, the state has no way to track sales tax or who is even selling these products at this time. We know that there are just over 700 specialty stores that rely on vapor products to stay in business. Let's just assume these 700 stores are generating $50,000 a year in sales tax. We did $120,000 last year. That would be $35 million.
Excuse me, ma'am, that is 3 minutes.
Oh.
So we do have opportunity if the members had any questions to ask those folks in our audience. Leader Cochran, you are recognized.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman. And this could be to either presenter who's opposed to the legislation. So just a couple quick follow-ups. So I know, and I'm not an expert in the field by any means. And when Chairman Hawk was first presenting, he mentioned that technically anything that's not on that FDA list or in the process of receiving FDA approval is technically illegal now. Is that a fact that you disagree with, or?
I actually agree with that. The statement is accurate. However, FDA uses what they've termed enforcement discretion, and they allow the products to stay on the market. And what they've done instead is they look at products like some of the disposables, which are really at the crux of this whole issue and why we're all here today. And they have removed some of those from the market, and they've been continually doing that through a coordinated effort between U.S. Customs and FDA by seizing these shipments of some of these things at the border that are coming in from China.
And thank you. And that's kind of a good lead into my next question. I mean, I know other states, Florida, I think several others have come up with different systems to, I think, at least maybe eliminate some of the bad actors in the industry. So, and do both of you agree that there are some systems that the state should be going after in some way, or should we just leave everything as is?
I just wanted to add also to the previous question there about the products. I know that it's assumed that we should just ask the FDA to get approval for these products. Okay. Well, our industry actually did that. We submitted 26 million PMTA applications. Okay. The only things that they approved was the 34. Okay, that are manufactured by Big Tobacco. So if you want to get approval from the FDA, you better be from Big Pharma and you better be from Big Tobacco. That's the only thing that they're going to approve. This year, what they've decided as far as Big Tobacco, they pulled the money that they were spending on federal trying to get these products banned and went into the states. This bill is a copy that's going through right now through 40 other states. It's all to ban the competition that's out there on the market. Out of the 26 million, they didn't have just straight market denial orders. Okay, a lot of them they call refusal to accept. Okay, so they just said that your PMTA wasn't in the right format, or, oh, it was missing this study, or, oh, it was missing that study, and so you can resubmit, which is why there's current litigation over the quote 400 products that are out there. As far as the bad actors, yes, I believe that bad actors should be. I know that there's pictures circulating around of some questionable products. I've never sold them in my stores. It's never been on the distributors that I actually get those products from. But I think that everybody needs to understand that although this is not an authorized product, the authorized products have the same 4 ingredients that the unauthorized products do. It's just one side gets approved and one side doesn't. Okay, it depends on where you come from, whether you get approved. If you come from Big Tobacco, you're probably going to get fast tracked. The other problem with the FDA approval process is if I was wanting to create a new cigarette, okay, and I could bring that to the market, file a substantial equivalency through the FDA and get that product, and then we know that it's going to kill 500,000 people every single year. FDA is completely fine with it. Okay, if you try to bring less harmful products on the market, you do not get that opportunity. Imagine you're asked to take a test. You fill out the information, and then they give you the questions later. Okay, that's how the PMTA process is.
Just one last thank you. But and I appreciate that's good information. I appreciate you sharing that. If you could answer that last question though, is there something? I understand that you disagree with the current proposal, But in your opinion, is there something our state should be doing differently to get rid of some of those bad products? And should there be, right now where there is no tax, should there be some tax on these products? Or are you happy with the status quo?
I think that we can regulate this product and we can solve the youth vaping problem that we have by doing some licensure. So if we were to implement a licensure requirement, you would have a grasp on how many stores in the state are actually selling the product. Right now, we don't know. And even if this bill were to pass, there's still no license. So the U.S. Department or the Tennessee Department of Health says they estimate that there's 6,500 different establishments in the state of Tennessee selling vapor products. I think it might be more. But are you going to send a Department of Revenue guy around to 6,500 different places where they might be being sold? For example, sex toy shops, because they're in there, flea markets. So how are you going to know that those products are in there? What you don't find in those places are alcohol, and you don't find cigarettes in those places because they require a license to sell. So I think the starting point to solve this problem is to get our arms around who's actually selling these products, how much sales tax are involved. Because in my estimates, just going lowball, that's $35 million a year that we've collected, that the state has been able to collect in sales tax. So if we lose that, and then we lose most of the industry, and we're down to only 844,000 on the 13% of the FDA approved products that we're bringing in as a state, that's a really big deficit. I don't think you guys really want to be responsible for that big of a deficit if it doesn't need to be there. So I think we can save our small businesses in this industry by starting from a licensure perspective, so that we have a grasp and our arms around exactly what we're doing. We tried to bring a licensure bill 2 years ago, and the state did not have an appetite to look at it or to pick it up. I think it's probably time that we start getting serious about that. Also, the TASER study, right, that was their number one recommendation, was a licensure for the industry.
Thank you, Leader Cochran. Thank you, Chairman Hicks.
Thank you, Chairman, and thank you all for being here, our guest. And Mr. Nelson, I know you stopped by my office, and I do want to say thank you. So many things to unpack as I look at this legislation, and this is the first time that I've really got to hear and take a deep dive in it, and certainly appreciate not only the presenter or sponsor, but you all again. But one thing about the Cordell Hull is things travel fast. And so let me ask you a question. Do you sell Lost Mary, either one of you that are opposed?
I do.
Mr. Nelson?
Yes, I do.
And so those are literally on the do not import list. So how do you all sell those if it's on the do not import list?
It's a different version. So what's on that red list, that customs red list, was there's a pretty long list of items. It's one of the versions of the Lost Mary, but not the one that we sell, because those are still able to be imported at this time and available through all of the distros.
And see, that's my part of my problem right there, is that we don't have a list. I'm really worried about that. But I'll tell you what kind of got my attention, and Mr. Nelson, you'll have to hear some of this again, what my worry is. A couple of years ago, I had a vape bill because, of course, worked for a school system, and we were seeing kids that are literally being taken out in an ambulance because of a vape they hit. Because, first of all, they don't even know what they even hit. They don't know what's in the vape. And so I'm very concerned, and I know it's easy to point fingers, and we do that a lot, but the issues are still the issues. The problems are still, and I can't see you, Mr. Nelson, I'm sorry. I don't mean to be staring at you at this, but it's still a problem. And it's easy to point and say, well, we're doing it right, but then I find out that Lost Mary, and I don't know if you are or not, just to be honest with you, and I don't know you, so you may be, but just looking at what I've researched in about 5 seconds online, and then what I ask you, I've got major concerns. And so I appreciate what y'all do. And, you know, I know there's been a lot of rhetoric thrown around, but my folks back home have been blowing my phone up saying, you're going to close down vapes. No, we're not going to close down vapes, because I think it's interesting to go back to what Representative Hawk said. We're not going to any vape product that is legal now will still be legal. And I know the FDA, I know we're struggling with, they're not speeding up fast enough and they're not giving you all, and you can, again, we can blame it on big tobacco. I don't know about all that. That may be the case, but still yet, the fact that we still do not know what are in these vapes. And I'm going to be honest, you can't convince me that in 10 years from now that we're not going to look back and say, my goodness, I believe we've been better off just smoking cigarettes and being done with it. And you can't tell me, no, we're not. We don't know because we don't know FDA's not approved it or not approved it because we simply don't know. So I am very concerned about the vape industry as a whole. And there are some bad actors, but there's some good actors. And I very well feel after talking to you, Mr. Nelson, I think you're one of those. But unfortunately, you picked an industry that, my goodness, it's got some issues. And I think we have been charged to make sure, as far as I'm concerned, that if people are going to be hitting these things, I want to know that they know what's in them. And I think this is a good start to get that started. That's just how I feel. Thank you, Mr. Chairman. I didn't mean to go on forever.
Thank you, Chairman Hicks. I don't think there was a question there. Did anybody have any further questions or discussion for the folks in session or on the bill? Representative Shaw, you're recognized.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman. Let me apologize to you for being late coming in. I was in another committee trying to get a bill passed.
Out of order.
I just walked in, but I'm interested to the folks on this side. In this, with all due respect, the question I ask you is with all due respect, but how do you sell illegal products and yet report fair taxes on it? I heard you bring up the idea of the taxes we would lose. So if these products are coming to you by some other name or whatever, I'm just trying to understand, and I'm not suggesting you're unfair, but I'm just trying to, because I'm in business, how do you do that? Maybe I learned something today.
I'd be happy to answer that for you. They're illegal as far as they haven't been authorized by the FDA. It doesn't mean that they're illicit, illegal products on the market. We can go to our distributors, who are all legal entities, purchase our products, and we receive them. They're in our systems. Every penny of sales tax is recorded in our system, and I have an accountant that files our taxes for us every month with this state. We've never missed a penny. I promise you that. And I will say that while there are some products that are the disposables, the majority of what we sell in our store are e-liquids. It's not what you're seeing the kids using at all. It's a very different product. And I'm okay with selling these products because most of our customers in our store have come to us as longtime smokers and were unable to quit smoking for many years. We love these people. They're like family to us, many of them older people, cancer survivors, COPD people that come in and they start vaping, not with the disposables, but with an e-liquid that helps them stop smoking. We help them step those levels down over time, eventually to zero. And then we celebrate with them when they quit vaping altogether. And so, I mean, there are options with the bill like this where you could carve out the open systems. And so the problem, children, the disposable vapes, leave those as a registry, but carve out the open systems. That's what Florida did. And that seems to be working really well for them.
Thank you. That's all the question.
Thank you. Chairman Gillespie, you're recognized.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman. I believe that Sheriff Chad Parton's here that would love, I believe he signed up to testify, and I would just love to get some law enforcement perspective here, if that's okay with the committee.
Thank you. Thank you, Sheriff Barton. If you'd like to come and join one of the open chairs there, you're more than welcome to do that. And if you will, but Chairman Gillespie, you had a question for him or?
Yes.
Or would you like for him to share his views based upon what he's heard so far?
Well, views so far from a law enforcement perspective, I feel like we're missing that component right now in the dialogues that's been going on. So that's what I'm interested in, at least. The committee may be interested in others.
Thank you. Sheriff, please state your name and what department you're from, and
Yes,
then
sir.
you're welcome to go ahead.
Thank you. I'm Sheriff Chad Parton, Sheriff of Coffee County, Manchester, Tennessee. Thank you for allowing me a few minutes today. But as I was listening to testimony here, I think a lot of key points have been brought out. We in law enforcement and the Tennessee Sheriff Association have concerns about certain age groups that are receiving these vape items, particularly the disposable items. We're seeing a lot of this in our middle school age children. Our SROs are recovering hundreds of these items a day. We're having incidents where a lot of these items are with these little disposable vapes are actually messing up some of our school system sewer systems. And I know that's not what we're here today, but it's how much of an abundance of this product is out there. The big concerns that I personally have is the makeup of the chemical factor that's in these vapes that these young people are getting a hold of and the sources in which they're coming from. And I'm hearing that these items are coming in through black market items, through trade, through maybe of Asian or Chinese products that are, is where they're developed. I have large concerns, and I understand the other folks over here has testified about FDA approval and things that may be not FDA approved but can still be used. But what I have a big concern is how this product is coming from Asia to Tennessee and getting into my middle schoolers' hands. That scares me worse than anything. And I will tell you another story. I had a child about a year or so ago, one of my SROs called me and has one of these little, Mr. Chairman, has one of these little disposable vapes in his pocket, and it shorts out and catches on fire in the middle of class and burns this child very significantly in the leg, in the pocket area. There's so many things that go on with this stuff, and I'm not trying to knock anybody out of any capital business or anything like that, but we've got to have some common sense about what our children are getting a hold of and using. And I appreciate the opportunity to speak.
Thanks, Sheriff. Any questions for Sheriff? Any? Representative Capley, you were recognized on the bill or back out of session? There you go. Representative Capley, you're recognized.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman. And I'm going to read a quote. This is directed at the two presenters to my left here. I'm going to read a quote, and then if either one of you, if you could respond, just kind of help walk me through this. It's illegal to sell, import, distribute, or offer for sale or distribution to U.S. consumers any e-cigarette that has not been authorized by the FDA, said Brian King, director of the FDA Center for Tobacco Products. The products identified in these warning letters are being marketed without the required authorization. We can issue and have issued warning letters for those products for which an application has been submitted and is pending review. For unauthorized tobacco products, the pendency of an application does not create any sort of safe harbor to sell that product. Would either one of y'all care to, because I know we had talked about Lost Mary, but according to this, according to the FDA, it would be illegal to sell those because they're not approved. Again, that's under a safe harbor, but if you further look into it, and as far as as far as me talking through my lawyer or whatever, it's still under the FDA's discretion on enforcement. Okay, so the worst actors, especially the Lost Mary that was mentioned earlier or whatever, they've went after the worst actors at the import, trying to prevent them from importing those products. Okay, so they send the warning letters, and then they also can stop the shipments coming in for import. Then they can't make it to the distributors. I know that it's very confusing there, but that's kind of the way that it goes. And they don't provide a list. The FDA does not provide any list of, okay, here's everybody that submitted a PMTA application. Here's all of them that's under review. Here's all of them that got. You see what I'm saying? They don't provide any of those lists of safe to sell lists, if that makes any sense. No, but to my knowledge, they're providing lists on which of these brands are unauthorized. I mean, I just found it right here in 30 seconds. I mean, if they're not authorized and the FDA is saying it's illegal to sell, import, or distribute, I mean,
I don't know what else we're talking about here. So, but thank you, Mr. Chairman. I appreciate you answering my questions.
Thank you. Speaker Zachary.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman. Sheriff, question for you, and thank you for being here. Thank you for your service. So just something you said I thought was interesting and just created more questions. So you talked about the black market. You talked about just the scourge this is on middle schoolers and high schoolers. So I assume you've done exit interviews or whatever the proper term would be on these children that come in contact with these products. Where are they saying they're actually, what are they saying about where they get these products?
Sir, about every street corner in Coffee County, and that's unfortunate. We have a lot of private tobacco outlets. We have franchise tobacco outlets. We have outlets everywhere. We have, and it's just like testimony was said, the flea markets, everybody that can get their hand on a box of these disposables, it seems like they're laying around. I was just in my motor pool the other day where my inmates come in and help us change oil, and I found these disposables, and they're like, well, it's found them in car. I mean, they're everywhere. So if they can get their hands on it, these children are getting their hands on it too, whether it's facilitated by an adult purchasing it for it, or the older teenage brother or sister getting it for it, or getting it for them, or the parents, or whoever it may be. But a lot of them are coming from the convenience stores, and convenience stores are dealing with somebody that's bringing them in wholesale. And, that's something that we have to really look into. And law enforcement, unfortunately, this is all new to us. I mean, we're just still trying to catch up with Delta 8, Delta 9, and all those good items. But then now this comes onto the scene, and it throws off a whole new level of enforcement. I hope that answers your question.
Thanks, Sheriff.
One more.
Speaker
Thank you, Mr. Chairman. Yes, sir, it does. Thank you, Sheriff. So, and I'm not asking you to comment on the bill unless you want to, but what are your thoughts about steps we're taking or this legislation to curtail some of what you're dealing with?
I'm for the bill. The sheriffs, my fellow sheriffs here today, and our other sheriffs that we've met with, we're for the bill. Now, I understand that it may help some, may hurt others. I'm sorry. My concern is an age group of children getting a chemical into their bodies coming from overseas that we're not knowing what's in there. As far as I know, it could be the same chemist making this chemical up that's making fentanyl in the same glassware and getting shipped over here. It's going to happen. It's just crazy.
Thank you, Sheriff. Thank you for your service and your testimony. Thank you, Mr. Chairman.
Thank you, Sheriff. Thank you, Speaker. I have nobody else on the list. Without objection, we're going to go back into session. So we are back. Thank you all for your testimony here today. So thank you. And we are going back into session. Is there any other discussion on the bill as amended for Chairman Hall? Speaker Zachary, you're recognized.
Question on the bill.
Question's been called. Are we ready to vote? Seeing no objection, Madam Clerk, please open the board for a vote. Those in favor of House Bill 968, moving on to full finance, please press aye. Those opposed, press no. Has everyone voted? Would anybody like to change their vote? Would the clerk please call the vote?
Mr. Chairman, you have 13 ayes, 0 noes.
Thank you. House Bill 968 moves to full finance.
Thank you, Chairman.
Thank you, Chairman Hawk. You get a blue ribbon for being the longest ever in finance sub. But thank you very much. And I see Chairman Doggett at the back of the room, who's been patiently waiting and doing air squats. He's item number 7 on your calendar, first in your heart from behind. From the heel, House Bill 592 by Chairman Doggett. Chairman Doggett, you have a motion in second. You are recognized.
Okay. Good morning and thank you. Yes, it's important to stay limber when you're standing on the back wall.
Chairman Doggett, you're recognized on House
Thank
Bill
you very much.
592.
Members, 592, it is a very serious bill, and I know sometimes I like to have some fun when I come before you, but this one is very serious. It's this bill is going to make the process simpler for innocent persons to receive compensation after they have been exonerated. Currently, under Tennessee state law, after a court has determined that a person is innocent, that individual cannot bring a claim to the Board of Claims for compensation without first obtaining an additional certificate from the governor. And so in order for a person to qualify under this bill, two things must be true. Their conviction must be overturned pursuant to an innocence litigation in a Tennessee court, and the state must dismiss all charges. If those two things are true, which is extremely rare in our state because there's only been 36 exonerations in our great history, then that person can go directly to the Board of Claims. And additionally, this bill would allow a child of an exoneree to access the claim if that exoneree is no longer living. And with that, I stand prepared for questions.
Thank you, Chairman Doggett. Do the members have any questions for Chairman Doggett? Seeing none, this bill does have, oh, I'm sorry. The tardy, Representative Parkinson, you are recognized.
Thank you, Mr. Chair. I feel impugned by being called the tardy representative. I'm just kidding. You know, I'm just kidding. We're in the bottleneck right now. Let me
out of order.
And I'm out of order, right? Thanks, sir. Chairman Doggett, thank you for bringing this legislation. It's long overdue and is well needed. And in some cases, you know, individuals that have actually served time and have been found not guilty are kind of coerced into taking a lesser charge to immediately get out of prison and out of jail. So, you know, I truly appreciate you. You know, this is definitely a step in the right direction, and I fully support your bill. Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you, Representative Parkinson. Any further questions for Chairman Doggett? Chairman Doggett?
Hey, no.
Okay. This bill does have a cost, and so we're going to have to place it behind the budget. So without objection, House Bill 592 goes behind the budget. Thank you for your patience, Chairman Doggett.
Thank you all.
Item number 11 on your calendar, House Bill 127 by Chairman Howe. We have a motion and second on the bill. Chairman Howe, you're recognized on your bill.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman, committee. This is an administration bill. In 2017, the Assembly passed the Improve Act. It did a number of things. But one of the things it did was allow the 5 largest cities and the 12 largest counties to levy a local option surcharge or local privilege tax to fund highway projects and bridges in their area. One of those cities who did that recently was Nashville. This bill just extends that authority statewide to all municipalities, all counties. The money can only be used for transportation improvement programs, which includes public transit. Local government could only use the funds, could also use the funds on a local project on a match if required by TDOT. And most important, the surcharge must be voted on by the voters in that area. That I ask passage.
Thank you. Any discussion? Chairman Gillespie, you're recognized.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman. Sponsor, thank you so much. I met with some people about this the other day, and I forgot to ask this question. As far as the referendum goes, for those cities and counties that are already doing this, say Memphis, would they need to have a new referendum to allow this, or would it continue from what they're already doing?
Chairman Howe. Make sure I understand your question. If I can give you an example, see if this answers your question. Nashville passed the referendum, I believe, about 2 years ago. They have recently asked the General Assembly to extend that surcharge for another, I believe, 5 years. And I do not believe that requires another referendum since it was already approved by the voters.
That's what I needed. Thank you.
Thank you. Any further discussion for Chairman Howe? Are we ready to vote? Madam Clerk, please open the board for a vote. Those in favor of House Bill 127. Moving on to full finance, please vote aye. Those opposed, vote no. Has everyone voted? Would anyone like to change their vote? Hearing none, seeing none. Madam Clerk, would you please take the vote?
Mr. Chairman, you have 12 ayes, 0 noes.
The ayes do have it. House Bill 127 moves to full finance.
Thank you, Chairman.
We are going out of order to item number 19. Chairman Vaughn is coming back and forth, got bills in other committees. Item number 19, House Bill without objection, House Bill 1327. We have a motion and a second on the bill. Chairman Vaughn, you are recognized.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker. This is a part of the governor's administrative package, and I appreciate y'all's indulgence with in and out. It's one of those days. What this bill does is basically two separate things. Is as of now, the vesting period for a project within a local jurisdiction is 3 years from the time of approval. This bill would slide the same 3-year time period back to the time that an acceptable submission is turned in, so that the thought process is that then some bad actors have changed the rules while somebody's waiting to get on an agenda. And so this is clarifying that. The other thing is actually something that's very, I wish I'd thought of it. And that is they are giving locals the option to make their conditional use permit process administratively reviewed. And because a conditional use permit is one that they provide a pre-published list of requirements for that project to gain their approval. And if you meet those, then you're supposed to get your approval. And so what this does is this allows people, it's a permissive portion of the bill, that if a community wants to adopt that so they can move things faster, then they are allowed to do that. And that's what the bill does.
Thank you, Chairman Vaughn. Any questions for Chairman Vaughn? Seeing none, this bill does have a fiscal impact. So without objection, House Bill 1326 goes behind the budget.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Appreciate it.
We're back to the regular spot on the calendar. We have item number 12 on the front row, so patiently waiting, House Bill 1328 by Chairman Halsey. We have a motion in second on the bill. Chairman Halsey, you're recognized.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman. Thanks, even though you jumped around me and in front of me and behind me, you got me, and I appreciate it. And I have a shadow at the back also named Olivia Robinson, who's with me, and my shadow is smarter than your shadow. I just thought I'd let you know that.
You are
out of order,
walking a fine line today.
Yes.
Thank you, Chairman Halsey. Would you like to tell us about your bill?
I will indeed. This was a pilot program that we set up on notification for particularly victims of some crimes, and it works so well. It's a notification of when an offender is going to a bail hearing, or when he's going to trial, or when he's being released. And it works so well. It's run by the Tennessee Sheriff's Association, but it sunsets the 30th of June coming up, and this bill just makes it permanent.
Thank you, Chairman Halsey, for that description. Any discussion? Seeing none, are we ready to vote? Madam Clerk, please open the board for a vote. Those in favor of House Bill 1328 moving to full finance, please say aye. Those opposed, vote no. Has everyone voted? Would anyone like to change their vote? Seeing none, Madam Clerk, will you please take the vote?
Mr. Chairman, you have 11 ayes, 0 noes.
Thank you, Chairman Halsey. House Bill 1328 moves to full finance.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman. Thank you, committee.
Should have hit the gavel last. Item number 13, waiting at the back, Chairman Lafferty, House Bill 1330. Do we have a motion second on the bill? We have a motion second on House Bill 1330. Chairman Lafferty, I think you also have a timely filed amendment drafting code 6499.
You are correct, sir.
We have a motion, and I'll second the amendment. Would you like to put the amendment on?
Please.
Let's do that. All those in favor of amendment drafting code 6499, say aye. All those opposed, House drafting code 6499 is on the bill. Chairman Lafferty, you are recognized for discussion on the bill as amended.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman. This is a bill that's known as the Less is More Act. It's come from the administration. It makes a number of changes across state government to reduce red tape, improve efficiency, and promote workforce entry. First, this legislation will eliminate licensure barriers and reforms licensing processes across several occupations and services. Second, this bill amends provisions related to board appointments. These are largely technical changes aimed at enhancing functionality and promoting consistency among similar boards. Finally, this bill will provide boards and commissions within the state government more flexibility to conduct electronic meetings. With the amendment that we recently added, it takes care of concerns that the court reporters had regarding their licensure requirements. and the transition from being under a board to now being under the commissioner. With that, I'll be glad to take any questions.
Thank you, Chairman Lafferty. Any questions from the members? Representative Parkinson.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman. Can you tell me about the technical fixes in regards to board appointments, and which boards are we talking about?
I would love to be able to take care of that for you off the top of my head. Can I defer to some help that I've got sitting in the audience?
We normally don't do phone a friend in finance, but we do have some people to testify on this bill. So without objection, I'm going to go out of session, have them testify, and Chairman, you can phone a friend while we wait on that. We do have, so without objection, we're going to go out of session to hear from Randy Dickerson. Randy Dickerson. Mr. Dickerson, if you will come up here to take a chair, and you'll have 3 minutes. We just ask that you introduce yourself for the record, and you have 3 minutes regarding this bill. Thank you very much.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman and committee, for hearing us today. I am Randy Dickerson. I am with the Soil Scientists Society of Tennessee. I represent as executive board approximately 120 or so licensed professionals, apprentices, trainees, and affiliated associates. Our primary efforts deal with evaluations of lands for on-site wastewater disposal, among other things. So we categorically would like to oppose this bill that deletes the portion of this bill that deletes the Soil Science Licensure Act. As I have had discussions with other committees, Commerce and Insurance, it's kind of arbitrary why they're deleting us. We desperately want to hold on to our licensure. Our physical note is on the upside. Our performance reviews are pretty much non-existent with problems. And quite honestly, I'm an older man now. When I was a younger man, I watched my predecessors fight long and hard to make soil science a licensed profession. And finally, after 30 years of when I attending the meetings and all, 2009, with help of some legislators who are no longer with us on the Senate or House, we finally got licensed. So now, just arbitrarily over some reshuffling, Commerce and Insurance, it appears, wants to just axe us. They say we're on the same plane as the TDEC certification, which is not true. We required a much more extensive education, experience, continuing education than TDEC says we have to have. So in the end, the less in this case is actually creating more for sending us back under TDEC certification. It's creating more government for them to deal with when we are perfectly happy right where we're at. We're in the black. We're physically good. I just appeal to you guys to help me get this taken off of this bill.
Thank you for your testimony. Do the members have any questions for Mr. Dickerson? I don't see any. Thank you for coming today, Mr. Dickerson. Pleasure to talk to you on the phone earlier.
As well. Thank you, Mr. Chairman, and the rest of the committee.
Thank you. We are going to go back into session. Chairman Lafferty, I noticed that you have the very proficient David Solon there. Did you need him to answer the question for Representative Parkinson, or are you prepared to do that?
I think we got it taken care of, sir.
Okay. Any further questions? Okay, we are on the bill. Are we ready to vote? Madam Clerk, please open the vote. Please open the board. Those in favor of House Bill 1330, moving on to full finance, please vote aye. Those opposed, vote no. Has everyone voted? Would anyone like to change their vote? Hearing none, seeing none. Madam Clerk, please take the vote.
Mr. Chairman, you have 11 ayes, 1 no.
Thank you. The ayes do have it. House Bill 1330 moves to full finance.
Thank you, committee. Thank you, Chair.
Item number 14 on the calendar, Chair Lady Littleton, House Bill 208. We have a motion and second on the bill. Chair Lady Littleton, you are recognized.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman and committee. This bill would rename the Armory in Cheatham County. It would rename it the first, after First Sergeant Douglas. He served of the Ashland City Unit from 1986 until his retirement in 2003. He was a powerful advocate of the construction of the new National Guard Armory in Cheatham County, as well as overall successful of the local National Guard for many years.
Thank
This
you.
would rename the Armory.
Thank you, Chair Lady Littleton. Chairman Crawford, you are recognized.
Move previous question.
Previous question has been called. I appreciate that very much, but this does have a small fiscal note of which we're going to be working with the sponsor to make sure it gets funded.
I have a letter.
Yeah, it's a beautiful letter, but it's not a sufficient letter. So we'll get it sorted out.
Okay.
And it'll come out from behind the budget. So House Bill 208 goes behind the budget. Thank you, Chair Lady.
Does that mean I have to come back to finance sub again?
Only when you get to come and plie and tell people that you get to get it
How
funded.
wonderful it is.
Yes,
All right.
ma'am.
Thank you.
Representative Capley, you're out of order, but I think you wanted to.
Yes, sir, Mr. Chairman. Thank you. I apologize for being out of order, but a good friend of mine just walked in the room and he absolutely hates to be recognized. So it's all the more reason that I'm going to recognize him. Mr. Lawrence Sutton, the chairman of the Lawrence County GOP, Lawrence and his wife and daughters are here with us in the audience. So Lawrence, if you could please stand up and come on, baby, stand up. Y'all give me a hand, please.
Thank you.
Thank you. Thank you.
We got a few standing in the back, and we got a few minutes left. We're going to try to get through as many as we can, so be prepared, members. We're going to push on the gas a little bit. Item number 15, House Bill 1309 by Chairman Martin. I have a motion and second on the bill. Chairman Martin, you're recognized for brief
Thank you,
description.
committee and chair. This is a administrative bill on behalf of the mega site of West Tennessee. Current law says that the mega site cannot operate its water or waste system at a deficit. So this simply would allow them to retain the interest accrued on the rates collected so they can meet that statutory requirement. And with that, I stand ready for question.
Thank you. Thank you. Questions been called on the bill. Madam Clerk, please open the board. Those in favor of House Bill 1309 moving on to full finance, please vote aye. Those opposed, vote no. Has everyone voted? Would anyone like to change their vote? Madam Clerk, would you please call the vote?
Mr. Chairman, you have 12 ayes, 0 noes.
Thank you. Chairman Martin, House Bill 1309 moves to full finance.
Thank you, Chairman and committee.
Thank you. Chairman Moody, I see you up front waiting patiently. House Bill 1009. You have a motion and second on the bill. You are recognized.
Thank you, and pardon my voice. I'm always honored when I can stand up and ask for our veterans. And what 1009 will do is raise for our 100% disabled veterans their property tax value from $150,000 to $250,000. And so with that, Mayor, go backwards. It's $175,000 current to $250,000 of their market value for 100% disabled and permanent veterans.
Thank you. Thank you. This bill does have a cost. We love our veterans. We want to help them however we can, but it does have a cost. It's not recognized in the budget now. So with that being said, we'll have to consider it a later date. So without objection, House Bill 1009 will go behind the budget. Thank you, Chair Lady Moody. You're up. Item number 17, House Bill 787. We have a motion and a second. You are recognized on House Bill 787.
Thank you, members. This was brought to me by our General Sessions Judge in Tipton County, Mo Eccles, and he sees a need he just is asking for a 1-year study, and no one gets paid to serve on this if they're chosen to be on this study. But the problem he's seeing is when our people are charged with drunk driving, and this does not affect their charge or their service or any fines whatsoever. But what this will do is let them look into why so many of our citizens are getting caught in a vortex of never being able to get out from under the fines. So he just wants to call it like a special court. And with that, I'd appreciate your help.
Thank you. When Chairman or Representative Capley, I appreciate it. This bill also has fiscal impact. So unfortunately, we're going to have to put it behind the budget, work on it at a later date. House Bill 787 goes behind the budget. Thank you, Chair Lane Moody.
Thank you.
Up next, item number 18, waiting patiently at the back of the room, House Bill 886 by Chairman Todd. We have a motion, and I'll second it on the bill. Chairman Todd, you're recognized on House Bill 886.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman. What this does is sets up a party registration law in our state. We would join 32 of our sister states in doing so, and it certainly does have a cost to it. So I understand what usually happens there.
Yes, sir. Thank you, Chairman Todd, for your patience and brevity. Any questions for Chairman Todd? See none. As you mentioned, it does have a fiscal impact, so we'll have to place it behind the budget and discuss it at a later date, and I look forward to doing that with you. House Bill 886 goes behind the budget.
Thank you so much.
We're going to skip down to get these two guys in the back of the room. Item number 25. Item number 25, Chairman McCalman. You have a motion and second on the bill. If we will, brief description.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman. Members, in a nutshell, what this bill does is allow for a once a year classic unique car auction in Wilson County at the Speedway. Will generate an estimate of $1 million in sales tax. It's not on the fiscal note. Fiscal note has been corrected to a not significant fiscal note. With that, I ask for a favorable vote.
Thank you, Chairman McCalman. Any questions? Seeing none, we're going to vote. Madam Clerk, please open the board for a vote. Those in favor of House Bill 974 moving to finance, please vote aye. Those opposed, vote no. Has everyone voted? Would anyone like to change their vote? Seeing none, hearing none. Madam Clerk, please call the vote.
Mr. Chairman, you have 11 ayes, 0 noes.
Thank you. House Bill 974 moves to full finance.
Thank you, Chairman Committee.
27 on your calendar. House Bill 676 by Representative Senate. Representative Senate, you are recognized for a brief description of your bill.
Chairman, thank you. Committee, thank you. This is about the special schools, the blind, the deaf, and the Alvin York Institute. It had a physical note. It does not have a physical note now. And so I'm here to ask you to move this forward. If there's questions about this bill,
Any discussion on the bill? Question's been called. Are we ready to vote? Madam Clerk, please open the board for a vote. Those in favor of House Bill 676, moving on to full finance, please vote aye. Those opposed, vote no. Was everyone voted? Does anyone wish to change their vote? Hearing none, Madam Clerk, please take the vote.
Mr. Chairman, you have 12 ayes, 0 noes.
Thank you. Forgot. Thank you. The ayes have it. House Bill 676 moves to full finance.
Thank you, Chairman. Committee.
Finally, today, I see her been waiting patiently with this young lady, Representative Jones. Item number 22 on your calendar, House Bill 193. You have a motion and second on the bill. Please briefly describe your bill, Representative Jones.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman. This is a bill that would exempt from sales taxes and use tax a motor vehicle registered in the state of Tennessee and sold to an active member of the Tennessee Air or Army National Guard. It would apply to only the first 15,000 of the purchase, and they would only get one exemption over a 5-year period. This came about because we had a lot of National Guard active in our area during the flood, and we saw all the hard work and what they did to help, respond to the disaster and what we know they did to protect our country. So we asked them what we could do, and this was a little something that they thought would be helpful. So with that, I renew my motion.
Thank you, Representative Jones. This bill does have a fiscal impact, but once again, we do love our veterans, try to help where we can. So without objection, House Bill 193 will go behind the budget. Thank you, Representative Jones.
And this is my shadow, Sophia Harshbarger from Anderson County. We're trying to find out if she's actually related to Senator Harshbarger. We don't know. know yet.
Sometimes you want to not be related to people, especially if they're a senator. But anyways, because we are the people of the House. But I see. I see the sage of the Upper Cumberland. We have 32 seconds for you to get to the podium and us take your bill out of order. House Bill 23. Okay. House Bill 23. I have a motion second on the bill. House Bill 624 by Chairman Kiesling. Chairman Kiesling, you are recognized for a brief description.
Absolutely. And I'll make it real quick, Chairman and committee. It's relative to registration and licensing of motor vehicles. Most importantly, this bill is permissive. That's what I want to open up with. The intent of the bill is to modify the existing law that permits a standard service charge to ensure that our clerks across the state are allowed to keep up with the rising cost of shipping and handling fees.
Thank you, Chairman Kiesling. The question's been called. We're ready to vote. Madam Clerk, will you please open the board for a vote? Those in favor of House Bill 624 moving to full finance, please vote aye. Those opposed, please vote no. Has everyone voted, myself included? Would anyone like to change their vote? Hearing none, seeing none, Madam Clerk, please take the vote.
Mr. Chairman, you have 12 ayes, 0 noes.
The ayes have it. House Bill 624 moves to full finance.
Thank you, Chairman.
Ladies and gentlemen, any bill not heard on the calendar today will be calendared next week without any consideration for a roll. All those, we appreciate the work of the staff and committee today. And with that, move to adjourn.